Well, early in the morning of December 15th, major windstorm came up Burrard Inlet and smacked into Stanley Park. It leveled about 41 hectares of forest and tore out 10,000 trees.
It was just tree after tree after tree, some of them broken off, some of them with upturned root wads. It was emotionally devastating.
It almost looked like giant footprints going across the park where these areas of forest had been almost entirely squashed flat. We're now a month and a bit out from that, and we are in the process of working up our plan to bring Stanley Park back to what it was before.
Right now I walk through here and I just see opportunity. I've been fortunate enough to have spent a lot of time now with a lot of experts who have seen events like this throughout the forest, and I've now really got a good idea on the positive opportunities we have to correct the forest. Well, you can see here a fairly significant slide that let go from the top of this bank. There's a couple of root wads down here with their trees attached, so they just released from the top of this bank and tumbled right down onto the seawall. It's quite a complex situation, and we have to figure out what we're going to do first, and then how are we going to do that, and then when are we going to do that.
The restoration plan focuses on three major disciplines. One is forestry, the other is geotechnical engineering, and the third is ecology. Stanley Park Forest is the middle of an urban park. That urban park sees 8 million people a year in it, and hundreds of thousands of them are in the forest. When that kind of condition happens, the opportunity for forest fire, the opportunity for invasive plant species, and the opportunity for invasive insects is very high.
This is a natural event. It's a natural phenomenon. There's no question about that. And Mother Nature, the next natural phenomenon that happens is a catastrophic fire. We have to mitigate that danger and assess that risk and do what we have to ensure that we haven't put the rest of the park at risk.
This is not a situation we would have chosen to be in, but since we're here, we can see that there are opportunities that will become lasting legacies for the park. The very forest that we have is imbalanced and not natural as a product of earlier selective logging that was done here. In other words, we have a preponderance of hemlock.
The hemlock is not a stable tree at the best of times, so a lot of the broken trees are hemlock.
It's a wonderful opportunity to be both a laboratory and demonstration project within easy reach of millions of people. It also gives us an opportunity for just long-term interpretation of the forest environment in the park, which frankly has been lacking.
We now have an opportunity to restock and restore this area so that it has a true reflection of the beginnings of an old-growth forest.
We keep track of any of the significant wildlife in the park, and we've been aware for a number of years of a pair of eagles nesting in a big old snag. That snag was one of the victims of the storm, and it came down. What is really reassuring was to see in early January that same pair of eagles starting to rebuild a brand new nest. To me, that is the perfect symbol of the resilience of the park and the expectation that it can be brought back and it will do just as well as it did before.
This is what we've been doing for years. Where there's a small hole or we've lost a tree to wind, we'll come in and we'll plant 3 or 4 trees where we can. So you can see, you know, this guy's probably 10 years old. All of these trees are probably in the 10-year range. So this is going to give us a head start, and it's going to allow us to have a beautiful forest here when we're finished.
This will take time, but the result in many respects will be better than what we have today in terms of a more balanced, healthy forest, a more stable slope environment at Prospect Point, and a whole new level of interpretive legacy that will help the community understand the forest better.